My name is Carson Eng. I'm the Starter Store Architect for WebSphere Commerce. This video is intended to assist software developers and business partners in building widgets for Aurora Store, which is the out-of-the-box starter store in IBM WebSphere Commerce version 7, Feature Pack 5 and 6. We'll take you through the key elements of the page layout solution. We'll show you a demo of the business user tooling, and we'll show you a demo of the Aurora starter store. By the end of this video, you should have a good understanding of the solution and be able to leverage the technical information in the IBM WebSphere Commerce Information Center to get started in building your solution. In version 7 Feature Pack 5, we came up with a new starter store called Aurora. We took this opportunity in the Aurora starter store and had a complete visual refresh and catalog browsing flow redesign. We took a look at the latest trends on retail websites and incorporated those into our Aurora starter store. We created a few new features such as product swatch support, and this is a capability to give shopper a more interactive shopping experience as they are trying to decide what product to buy on the product display page and quick view pop-up dialog. The support lets shoppers select different defining attributes such as color or size, and as they select the different attributes, they see the product image change accordingly based on those attributes. Another feature that we added in the starter stores, and is worth mentioning, is that we made changes so that the same desktop store page will function properly on a tablet device, and that's what we call tablet tolerance. We made changes so that the desktop site supports the pinch to zoom, supports the different orientations that you could have on the tablet. We made changes so that we not only respond to mouse events, but we also respond to touch events, which are used throughout in the tablet. We made small changes as to when you are trying to enter text, and the keyboard will pop up. If you're trying to enter a phone number, then the dial pad will show up, etc. On top of just having a starter store, we also have a new architecture in terms of writing store pages, and that we'll cover later on. And we also surface the capability of the page layout tool in the Aurora starter store, and that's the capability of business user assigning different templates depending on start date and end date to the different store pages, and we'll go through all these concepts in the next few slides. The new page layout tool in Feature Pack 5 is the capability to give business users to select different layouts for different store pages. However, it has the prerequisite that IT creates all these different looking layouts beforehand. And this can be considered the phase 1 of our bigger solution, where we're moving our roadmap to allowing business users to have even more control of the store page. But for now, in Feature Pack 5, our phase 1 is to have the IT developer create all these different layouts. In this example, IT created layout A, layout B, and layout C. It's registered in the system so that then the business user could assign any of these layouts to any of the store pages. Example of a store page could be a category page, a product page, or a content or static page. As well as when you do these assignments, you can do them for a particular period of time. So you can say that for the apparel page, for example, layout B goes from January 1st to April 31st, and assign a different layout to start from May 1st onwards. In terms of the use cases that are available in the page layout tool, I list them all here. Basically, IT can define default layouts for all categories, or assign default layouts for all departments, and assign default layouts for all products. Assigning defaults is a task of IT. Once that is set up, then business user can select a layout to use for a specific category. They can select a layout to use for a specific product, and business users is also be able to select a layout for all products on their category. So you could say business user can set up all products under electronics to use a particular product page layout, and for all products under apparel use a different layout. And as I talked before, business user, as they're doing these assignments of layouts, they can specify the start date and end date. We talked about before, I introduced that Aurora has a different architecture from our previous starter stores, and we call that our widget componentization. So we've broken down the different pages in the store, the different areas and sections that can do a particular, that have a particular task and have certain actions and renders information in a certain way. We have separated the whole page into different widgets. Examples of widgets, as you can see here, the first box here, we have a header widget. So the header widget is in charge of rendering the entire header. In box number 3 here, we have a faceted navigation widget. So this is the widget that displays all the facets for a category. Slot 4 could be a content recommendation widget. Slot 6 here could be a category recommendation widget, and slot 6 could be a product recommendation widget. So you can see that we broke down all our pages into the different widgets that are used to build up that page. Also, the store developer, as they're writing the widgets, we made them so that it conforms to this architecture here. The main widget has a JSP, which is the widget name and then the word widget.jsp, and that JSP calls up to 2 fragments, a data fragment and a UI fragment. The idea is that the data JSP fragment is in charge of knowing how to retrieve all the information that will be displayed by this widget. So in the data, we'll call up to WebSphere Commerce APIs, be it data beans, using the get data tags, or any other means that you need to retrieve data for the widget is retrieved in that data JSP. And then it sets up some variables that could then be easily consumed by the UI JSP fragment. And the UI JSP fragment is in charge of rendering this widget. So in there you will ideally just see the HTML structure of how to render this widget by using the variables that were set up by the data JSP fragment. So having this architecture, it will help as you customize the store branding or the store look and feel. It is very common that the one thing that customers need to customize of our starter store is that they need to rebrand the whole store. So by doing this data and UI separation, we are hoping to achieve the rebranding exercise in an easier manner than we had ever had before. That is what we had in Feature Pack 5. In Feature Pack 6, we basically did a few minor enhancements to have a better interaction between page layout tool, where you are selecting the layout and also viewing the changes of your layout and trying to populate some of the content in each of the widgets of the layout. And we did enhancements in store preview to achieve this capability. Let me walk you through some of that capability. The first capability is preview in context. By preview in context, we mean whenever a business user is working on a particular object in Management Center, let's say they were editing one of the products in the store. So they're using Management Center, they are editing product ABC. If they click on Store Preview, what we'll do is that we'll launch the store and send you to the exact product ABC page. So if you're familiar from WebSphere Commerce previous releases, we would have always sent you to the home page in Store Preview, and you need to navigate and find the product that you were editing. With the preview in context capability now, whatever object you're working on in Management Center, be it a category, product, or a page, we will send you directly to the correct page in Store Preview. Another enhancement is you can think of the way back. If you were working on Store Preview and you browse in the store, you identify something that you want to change in the store. If you see a typo or anything like that, we have what we call the click to edit capability. So under Store Preview, there is a button called Show Page Information that will highlight the objects in the store that we could send you back to Management Center for edit capabilities. So for example, if you find a product in the store and you click that Show Page Information, then you will have an edit catalog entry button that will take you back from Store Preview. It will open up Management Center, bring you to the right tool to edit the object that you wanted to edit. So you can see that with these two capabilities, it enhances the productivity of the business user as they are working in the authoring environment, modifying the information and previewing to see how it looks like in store, and working towards completing their task. Another capability that we added in Feature Pack 6 is what we call the preview link capability. This capability lets the business user generate a URL in the store preview. So whatever page they were browsing in store preview, they could generate a URL that they could send to other people to review that page, and the person they're sending to, they don't need to have access to Management Center to see the page. So this could be used for different use cases. One being if you need to send, after you're working on a page, you need to send the page to the legal department to take a quick look and approve it before it actually goes to production. You can use this because legal department usually they don't have access to Management Center. So this way you can generate this URL, send it via email, and the person receiving it could see the page and give it a thumbs up. This capability can also be used to generate a URL to see the page on the different browsers that are not supported by Management Center. For example, if you want to preview the page in Chrome, you can do that with this capability. If you want to preview the page on the different mobile devices, you can do that as well. You can copy this URL and access it from your phone. This capability has a few built-in features. One of them being, for sure, it will respect the workspace's context. So we will be able to generate a URL for the future so that you can see what the page looks like in the future. As you're generating this URL, as you see in the dialog here, we have some security capabilities for this URL as well. If you are not comfortable in sending a URL that could be accessed by everybody without a password, then you could do that. You could say that you still require a password, and you enter the password that you want the person to type in before being able to see the page. As well as you can set a particular period of time that this URL will be active for. So you can say it will be active for a couple of days. You can do that. Okay. Now I have concluded the overview of our page layout solution, and next will be to demonstrate all these capabilities that I just talked about. For that, I'm gonna pass this over to Joyce, and she will walk you through the demo scenarios.
Hi, my name is Joyce Yu. I'm going to show you a demo of the Feature Pack 6 page layout tool. First, we launched the Management Center Business User Tooling. I'm going to log in as an administrator. After logging in, I could launch the page layout tool from the top menu here. On the left navigation here, I have access to the home page and other static store pages. Below that, we have access to the catalog pages. For this demo, I'll show you how to create a new home page layout. If we click on the home page here, we could see the default page layout template that's being used. And here are the widgets that are used on the home page layout. If I click on this preview button here, I could see how the home page looks like right now. This is our Aurora B2C store homepage. At the top here, we have a header widget. Below that, we have content recommendation widgets showing some ads. And then here we have a product recommendation widget showing products, and you could scroll through the products. And then more ads. And then at the bottom we have a footer widget. If we click on the show page information button here, it will outline all the different areas that the business user could customize. These areas are called e-marketing spots. What e-marketing spots are they are just real estate on your store page. You could populate them with default content such as product, ads, or categories, or you could define something called web activities to have dynamic rules on these content. I can click on the show information link here to see more about my e-marketing spot. For example, this one here is called catalog banner underscore content. This is the naming convention that we use to identify what type of e-marketing spot this is. For example, this one is intended to show content. And then below that, here we have an activity that controls what is shown in this e-marketing spot. So I'm going to scroll down to take a look at the product recommendation one. So here we could see that the naming convention here we used is home row to cat entries, so that we know this e-marketing spot is intended to show products. And here we have a little more complex web activity to control all the products that we show. So I'm going to go back to the tooling to design a new layout. So I can expand this area here to assign a new layout to my page. To see the list of layouts I can use, I can just type an asterisk and click Find an Ad. This brings up the utility pane on the right. There are two homepage layouts. The first one is the default homepage layout that we have already seen. The second one is a simple homepage layout that I will show you. Here is a quick preview of how the template looks like. So to assign this to our page, I just drag it into this table right here and hit save. We could preview how this page looks like by clicking the preview button. Right now the page is going to be empty because we didn't populate any content yet. I can click on the show page information button to see what areas on the page we could customize. For example, this one here is an e-marketing spot that displays content. I can click on this create button here to create the e-marketing spot and populate the content I want. This brings me back to the marketing tool. In here I could specify a static content that I've pre-created beforehand. For example, I could type in a prefix of my content and click Find an Ad, then drag the image that I want into this table here and hit save. If I go back to my preview window and hit refresh, now we see the image that I've just populated in the e-spot. I could do the same thing for the other two e-spots at the bottom here. So when I click this, this will bring me to the marketing tool again. And from here, I could just drag the images that I want into the default content table. And hit refresh to see the image that we have just populated in the left e-spot. I could do the same thing to the right e-spot here. And then just drag the right image that we have for our home page. Hit save and refresh again. So here it is. This is our totally new homepage layout for the Aurora B2C store.